Hello nieces, hello nephews, it's your Uncle Charles here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we do unbiased price action analysis. We got the breakout, guys. The S&P 500 decided to break out of this flag pattern or downsloping megaphone pattern that we had here, or however way you want to look. It formed, it took about, what was that, 3 to 4 months from July till now to form. Today, we got a breakout. But it wasn't just any regular breakout. Courtesy of CPI with the data coming in lower than expected, serving as a catalyst for us to get this breakout. But when I say it's not a regular breakout, I'm not talking about the news. This was what's called a breakaway gap. All right, we Google breakaway gap. It says right here, a breakaway gap occurs when a stock opens higher or lower than its previous day closing price in a counter move that breaks away from the short-term trend congestion level or area of support and resistance. Congestion level could be like a channel, a chop range of, with support and resistance levels, of course. Short-term trend, a breakaway from the short-term trend. In our case here, like I said, we had this pattern. The trend was bearish. We gapped out. We gapped above, gapped away out of this pattern against the overall downtrend that we had since July. This is a textbook breakaway gap. In this form, it is a bullish one. All right, but where did we gap up to? We gapped right into a critical resistance zone. I have some fib levels, guys. Fib levels from July high down to October 2023 low. Had the 78.6 fib level at 448.77. I rounded to 449. Gave it a zone. Today, SPY closed at 448.73. Could not get the breakout. It tried to break out intraday, but not official on the daily chart. It was a pretty underwhelming, at least for day trading. It was pretty underwhelming. Guy here, 30-minute chart. You see that big green candle. Shout out to CPI for that. Yellow line. I had a level at 447. I think I gave you guys that level, right? 447. Boom. You guys can see right there. Got the breakout. Breakout right there on the 30-minute chart. Breakout. Alerted to the group. 447 cleared. Put in 449 in play. Started off strong. We started off strong. Cleared 447, smashed 449, going as high as 449.73. But as you guys can see here, that pink line, that's that 449 level. We don't want to call a top, right? We want to wait for false breakout setups. Unfortunately, as you guys can see, this false breakout led to nothing. The Bears just couldn't get it going. Unfortunately, even with a false breakout, like I always say, it's a high probability trade. It's not a 100% trade. If it's right, I'll let us know. You know how I am. Hey, it's a good trade. It worked out, but when it don't work out, I will admit when it doesn't work out. Okay, it's a high probable trade. Every reversal, started off with a false breakout. Not every false breakout leads to a bearish reversal, but every reversal started off with a false breakout. So while it's not a guaranteed setup, it's not 100%, we still want to trade with an edge, with just a statistical edge. Unfortunately, even with the statistical edge, bears just couldn't get it going. Hopefully, if you guys played that setup, you were able to cut loss. I know some Discord members today did play it, and it didn't work out. It really sucks, but it's one of those days where we got to pay the bills. We got to pay the bills. We can't get paid all the time, right? Even if you have a regular job, you can't get paid all the time. You got to spend some of that money and pay the bills. Why? Because we got to keep the lights on. If we don't keep the lights on, we're going to lose our home. Or in this case, for trading, we're going to blow up our portfolio. We don't want to hold losing positions, right? Just pay the bills, keep the lights on, preserve your capital, live to fight another day. Because today's trading day, it wasn't that good. It was underwhelming. But you know, and I know that not every trading day is created equal. I'm going to say that again. Not every trading day is created equal. There will be days where it's freaking great. And there will be days where it's difficult. Okay, so, I try to make my videos in the beginning educational. And today I can't give you guys any cool setups and brag about how great the setups were. I mean, one setup worked great with the 447 breakout, but the rest of the day was just very choppy and you know, didn't lead nowhere. Most of the big move happened in pre-market. So, you know, I try to make it educational. Unfortunately, I couldn't showcase or talk about to you guys any great setup, especially the false breakdown, the false breakdown. But I hope I can offer some perspective. You know, when the trade doesn't work out, what's my thought process like? My thought process is, you know what? It wasn't the best trading day. The setups didn't work, but hey, we respected our stop loss. Let's try to be positive. We paid the bills, right? We get paid, got a nice fat check, and then we got to pay the electric bill. We got to pay the water bill. We got to pay the mortgage. It's not a good feeling, but hey, it keeps the light on. So if you guys are read today and you respected your stop loss, Uncle got a lot of love for you. I got a lot of respect for you. I respect the trader that respects his or hers stop loss. All right, guys. So that's the best I can say. Hopefully tomorrow, though, we'll get a better, more volatility, better volatility. Because today, most of the volatility was pre-market. Unless you was trading pre-market with shares, you know, the rest of us, well, I was at least trading options. We had to trade intraday. One good setup, but like I said, it wasn't much after that, okay? However, let's go to the daily chart. Today is over with. It's over. The market is closed. Let's put it behind us. Get that dirt off your shoulder. And let's prepare. Let's prepare for the rest of the week. Let's prepare for tomorrow, okay? So where do we gap up? 78.6 fib level as mentioned in the beginning of the video. Straight to another resistance level. We are a little above it after market, but like I say, most of the volume happens during trading hours. So that's where the most important price action is to me, okay? Do I consider the context of pre-market? Absolutely. Like right there, we got a breakaway gap, a bullish breakaway gap. And that bullish breakaway gap is a breakaway gap out of a trend line. This trend line is downtrend line. That's kept us in a downtrend since July. That is bullish. So bullish follow through tomorrow would be to stay above 448.7 to the 449 zone. All right. If we can stay above 448.7, that would be bullish. Next target that I am watching is 451. Where's 451 from? Well, we go back to September 14th. The pivot high of that day was around 451, and the rejection there led to a very big downside where we got all the way down to 420-ish. Okay, so that was the sell zone from back in September 14th. So if we stay above 448.7, 451 is a level that I'm watching. It's a sell zone. If that clears, then obviously, for me, we get more upside. 451, we'll put 453, 455, and gap fill. This gap fill all the way back in August 1st is at 456.5. Okay, the gap fill is at 456.5. And in order for those upper targets to be in play, let's try to keep it simple now. Price got to stay above 448.7 and clear 451. Couldn't do it today. Okay. It could not do it today because, like I said, we had a big gap up from 440 going as high as, 450 end of day. Like, that's a big gap up. Market probably needed time to consolidate. As you guys can see, it happened today. It needed to digest what the heck happened. So hopefully it don't take too long to digest and give us a move. And if the move is to the upside, it needs to clear 451 to put those targets I mentioned in play. Okay, with the gap fill at 456.5. If that clears, 458 and 459.5 would be in play. 459.5 would be July's high. All right. Now that's the bull case. Bear case would be a failure or a rejection from the 78.6 fib level at 448.77. Okay, we break that down or we reject from there. Trust it when it breaks down the next support level. Support level below 448.7 is at 447.5 and 446. All right, I had to adjust some levels for this video. As you guys can see, 446 was today's low. That's where we got the buying pressure bounce intraday when there was volume off of 446. So if 446 failed tomorrow, that's bearish. That's bearish. 444.5 and a test of 442, excuse me, 444 and a test of 442 would be in play, okay? 442 is a back test of this blue down trend line, okay? We get a breakout, a pullback is healthy to retest that breakout level. If 442 defends and bounces, that's bullish. I'll need to see it recapture some level. Bounce off 442, maybe recapture 444, something like that. Then maybe I'll look to long. But I tell you this, if 442 fails, guys, if 442 fails, that is bearish. That is a false breakout setup. And we are likely going to head down a lot lower, but we'll play it level to level. Below 442, I got 440.3, 439, 437, and 435 in play. 435 is, you guessed it, my 1 year orange trend line from October of last year's low. Below 435, bears would definitely be in control. All right, guys, let's keep it simple. Let's prepare for tomorrow. We're not trying to predict. We're just looking to react and play it sheep style. Bah! Let's move on to Triple Q. Triple Q recaptured this trend line, the 2023 trend line. All right, this orange trend line I got from January 2023's low. Got a touch there. Got a touch there as resistant. And once again, it tested today and it recaptured. It recaptured. Holy moly. So 384.5 is the support level based on that trend line. Stay bullish above 384.5. Stay bullish above 384.5. Next resistant is at 386 and 388. 388 was a pivot high back in July. The high back in July. All right, 388. If that clears, that would be bullish and we could head a lot higher. Let's see if bears can step up around 388. All right. Otherwise, below 384.5 would be a false breakout or a false recapture of this 2023 trend line and could send us back down. Okay, 384.5 would put 383, 381, possibly drop down. That's a pivot high, 381 pivot high back in September, and then could possibly drop down to the next fib level, which is around 378.2-ish. All right, below that, I got 377 and 375.6s. Those are all critical support levels, fib levels down there. But to start a bear case, it needs to break back below 384.5. All right, that's the equilibrium. Above it, bullish. Below it, bearish. IWM, big body green candle tomorrow. Be careful. If it gaps up and chops tomorrow, not a good sign. Not a bullish sign. So you don't want a chop day tomorrow if you're trading IWM. Overall trend day, look at that big move to the upside. Support is at 177 and 175.8. I would only short if those levels fail. Okay, if they do, that's a false breakout. We'll likely head down lower, back down to 174, 172, and 170-ish. Okay, now resistant is at 178.5. If that clears 180, 182, and higher in play, 184 plus. Okay, but it needs to clear 178.5 to trigger more upside, especially 180. All right, now the reason I said you don't want to gap up and chop day tomorrow is because we got a big body green candle. The last thing bulls want to see is an evening star pattern forming. And if it is a forming, that would mean tomorrow would be a chop day, a doji, something like that. You don't want to see that because in the day after, which in this case would be Thursday, it could possibly be bearish. All right, so watch out for something like that. Tesla gapped up and kept on going. It was bearish in the morning, but started recapturing some levels. Overall, just bullish. The main level that it recaptured that I'm paying attention to is this 38.2 fib level. I have fib levels from July high down to October 2022 low. All right. Now the 38.2 fib level is at 234.2. All right. That's the critical support level. Below it is bearish. Above it is bullish, which it is right now. Okay. Now, next resistance is at 238. It's above it in the aftermarket, okay? Let's see what happens during trading hours. If it's above it during trading hours, that's bullish. What I would be watching for is a back test of this trend line, okay? This purple trend line. You guys can see it had multiple tests starting back in January of this year. Got a test there. Test there. Could be going for a fourth test. It'll be at 242.5. Watch out. All right. If above 242.5, we recapture that trend line. That's extremely bearish. That's extremely bullish. And we'll put higher targets in play. 245, 247, 250, 252.6, and so on. All right. But to trigger the upside, it needs to stay above or clear 238 and clear 242.5. All right. Like I said, bearish below 234. It's around 238. Which makes next support at 236 and then 234. Below 234 will be a false breakout of this fib channel, fib level, and put lower targets in play. Okay, 232, 230.8, 226 is a level I have, and then there's this gap fill around 223.8ish. That's also happen to be a fib level. All right, so that's the bull case. That's the bear case. Apple, it managed to gap above the 61.8 fib level. It even bounced on it. You guys see the wick? It bounced off of it as support. All right, so there was some buying pressure there. Can it lead to more upside? Resistance at 188. If it does, if it clears 188, 190, and 191.6 are in play. Okay, I would get bearish below 186.5. If that breaks down, false breakout, put the gap fill around 185.5-ish in play. With 184, 183, that's a fib level in play. 181.5 and 180 below that, all right? Let's see. NVDA gapped up, gave us a doji. Not much movement. I mean, decent intraday movement, but that's not an impressive candle. It did manage to close above my 1.236 fib level, all right? 495.86 is that level. Above it, stay bullish. All right. Next resistance at 498.5. If that clears, 500 would be in play with 502.6s. Next, that's all-time high, and above that, new all-time high. Watch out for that 508 number. That's a fib extension level. All right. How did I get this fib extension level? Let me show you real quick. So you see this pivot high, October 12th, and this pivot low, October 31st, Halloween. I just got the high of that and the low of that. Okay, so I just look at the price action, and I look at the last previous high and the last previous low. I connect them, and then you should get fib extension. In this case, to get fib extension to the upside, I just find the last previous high, connect it down to the last previous low. If I'm trying to find fib extension to the downside, then I just flip it, do the opposite. I'll find the last pivot low, and I'll connect it to the last pivot high. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense to you guys. Anyways, that's NVDA above 495.86. Stay bullish, and those upper targets that I gave you will be in play. Below 495.86, that's bearish. Next support will be 494, 492, and 490.5. Below 490.5, that will be bearish. In my opinion, we'll likely get a decent sell down, at least down to fill the gap around 485.7-ish, at least. All right. Meta continued to move up. It continued to push up, gapped up, but look where it gapped up. The 1.236 fib extension level. Got some selling pressure there. Now that fib extension level is at 383.5. If Meta wants more upside, it must clear 338.5. Excuse me. It got to clear 338.5 to trigger more upside. 340, 342, 344, and 346. 346 is the next fib extension level, okay? It's got to clear 338.5 to trigger more upside. Now, support is at 336.5. It's lingering there right now, but if it manages to break that down, we're likely dropping 335, 333, and there is a gap all the way down to 329. Fib levels at 320, 327.7-ish. If that fails, it's gonna be real bearish, guys. All right, watch out for the false breakout. Don't try to call the top. AMD had a nice gap up, moved to the upside, but it found selling pressure. Where did it find selling pressure? I gotta zoom out for this one. Yeah, I got fib levels from December high down to October 2022 low. This is November, November 2021 high down to October 2022 low, okay? Now, this fib level that I have is at 122.23. That's a 61.8 fib level. Back in June of this year, we broke down that level. We lost that level. Today, after breaking down that level back in June, we back tested that level as a resistance. Now we got to look at you remember the concepts of price action behaviors, but we're looking at it from a macro level now. It's retesting the previous breakdown level. Now, for me to trust that breakdown level, it's going to have to break down some supports, right? So it's around 120. Okay. I have support at 119 and 117.5. That's a fib level. If those levels break down, I'll trust those rejection. I'll look to short targeting. Downside target 116, maybe 114.5, maybe even test 113. That's another fib level. Okay. Only way at this point I would be bullish is if it does clear that fib level at 122.2ish. If it does, I would be bullish. The sell zone, the supply zone will turn into a buy zone. And that's when I would turn bullish. Targeting 124.3, 126, and 127.6s. All right, those are upside targets. All right, guys, let's end this with the option flow. We had 2.1 billion in premium at the 440.34 level. Okay. Whoever bought at that level, whatever institute bought at that level, I'm pretty sure they're happy right now. Not seeing much activity nowhere else, at least not over a bill. We have some activity here, 448.72 and 448.73. Look how sneaky they are. They didn't want to give us a whole 1 billion plus premium, so I don't know what they did, but overall around that level, it is about over a bill. 654.7 mil. 337.6 mil. That's over a bill, right? Right around that 448.7 level. You can add that to your chart as a dog pool level. Okay, guys? Now, let's end this with the option flow. Give me SPY. Filter for 500K premiums or above. Bearish. Flow's been wrong. The flows has been wrong. Either that or the flow's been showing how bearish people are and they're getting squeezed. I don't know. What are we doing? We're going against the flows, maybe? Is that a better idea? Oh, Triple Q's bullish. Triple Q's bullish. Look, there's a divergence here between Triple Q and SPY as far as the flow go. IWM is bullish. So SPY is wrong. Triple Q and IWM. Unless SPY is trying to predict the future, I don't know. There's people buying the contract. They predicting the future. We'll see. We'll see. IWM is bullish, though, for what it's worth. Tesla is kind of bullish. Slight edge to the bulls. Apple is very bearish, but look at block orders and split. Context matter. Those aren't very strong put orders. We'll see though. NVDA is kind of bullish. Sweep orders for the calls. Some above the ask. Okay. Meta, 100% the calls. Sweep order. What we got? AMD. Am I missing anything right now? Okay, AMD got nothing. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more content from Uncle Charters, please consider joining the Discord. Come join the flock. Be a part of the family. You're already part of the family, but the Discord family is what I'm talking about. Other than that, have a great evening. Peace.